Well, the history of Blue Ridge Country Magazine goes back to our founder, owner, publisher, Richard Wells, who, as a very young man, worked at newspapers and loved to ski, snow ski, which was a nascent thing in the Southern Appalachians back then. And he sort of fell into both a love of skiing and sort of thinking about writing about skiing. And he established himself, while he had a full-time job at a newspaper, as a freelance writer about skiing in the Southern Mountains. He began to sell those pieces. He began to spend more time going all around the mountains and discovering the old resorts as well as new things coming on the mountains. And it occurred to him back in the mid-'80s that there could be a regional magazine that could cover this area. Not just the skiing, obviously, but that was sort of his launching off point in the conception of having a regional magazine for the Southern Appalachians, covering the mountain regions of Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Georgia. And so back in 1998, I was here as an editor, and he said, why don't you and your wife go on a trip through the Southern Appalachians? And here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about stories, and I want you to find people to write about and people to write for us. And so that glorious trip yielded the first issue in 1998, and the rest, as they say, is history. It has his conception was perfect. I mean, the magazine, the content of the magazine has stayed very much the same over the 35 years. You know, celebrating the best of travel and recreation and things to do and places to see in the Southern Appalachians. So it was born ready to go, and it's kept on going. What makes Blue Ridge Country Magazine unique and special is the combination of our readers, our writers, and our advertising supporters. That over the years we've built a loyal readership. They subscribe again and again and again. And the reason they do that is because we have a wonderful group of writers, many of whom have been with us for decades and decades. And at the same time, we're blessed to have the support of advertisers all over the 7 state regions, so we can pay for the copies we print. The Best of the Mountains awards were created to celebrate these mountains and to recognize the knowledge of our readership, that, you know, they're passionate about the mountains and they have favorites in many, many realms. From great towns to visit to great recreation and places to eat, and you know, it's a readership that loves to travel and loves to learn. So within that context, it was a vehicle to recognize the best of those realms in the Southern Appalachians. Well, the easiest thing, the first thing to do is buy a copy of the magazine, but to see a list of the winners, you can go to our website, blueridgecountry.com. Blueridgecountry.com, Best of the Mountains.